thing in my head. I'm like, is it like GIF and GIF? Like, or is that what it's going on? But it's actually spelled J. So I'm
it is a J, okay.
What do you want? Do you want to dim this light?
It's like a Jenga.
Do you want to do you want to dim this light, or you're good? That's not even in the way.
That looks good.
You think this looks good? I mean, we're a little yellow, but I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Okay.
It's very...
Totally. Oh look, we can like totally... I think that one looks cool. You good?
I think so.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Aydian here, and today I have an extra special guest with me. This is my good friend Marissa La Rocca.
What's up?
I'm having her join us today in this really awesome topic, and I've actually known Marissa like since I was, oh my gosh, like 15 or 16.
I think, yeah, 15 or 16.
And like we would like play guitar and like listen to Ani DeFranco and like talk about philosophy and our lesbian feelings and go to like cafes with open mics and all that stuff. So lots of memories here. She recently came back into my life. We're doing a really awesome project together that I'm not ready to announce yet, but it's gonna be really phenomenal. You guys are gonna really love it, I know it. But in this video, I want to talk about a question I get a lot of, and that question is, how do I know that I'm trans? Or like, how do I experiment? Like, how did you know? And what I find difficult with this question is that I can't be the one to answer this for you. And because I knew I was trans, I feel like when I started experimenting, I was like, this feels in line, this feels in line, this feels in line. So it's hard for me to give an opinion when I'm kind of biased because like I knew what worked for me and I don't know what's gonna work for you. So I wanted to bring Marissa on, share a little bit of this story and kind of introduce you guys to her. So let's do that now. Okay, so to reset up for this video, pretty much at the end of the day, Marissa, like I get emails all the time about like, how do I know I'm trans? And how did you know? Or like, maybe they're lesbian identifying or they're more of a more masculine woman and they're like, you know, I'm not sure because of this, I do like this, but I don't like that. And I usually tell people like, you know, you should find a safe space and people that you trust and just start experimenting. Like, if you're a female-bodied person and you feel like you might be trans man, then like pick a name and have your friends like when you're around for the day, like call you Chris or whatever, right? Or like I've told a lot of people like my little Starbucks trip, which was like when I was first coming out, I wanted to experiment with being called a male name. So Aydian, and so I went to Starbucks and that was the first place I ever like got my name read out like Aydian, and I had to go up and get my drink and I was like not on TV, like very like being read as female and like gendered as she and stuff like that. And it was like a really interesting time for me to kind of experiment with that, and so I've given that like advice to other people. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about the journey that you've shared with me just on the gender spectrum, being a more masculine lesbian, but like having moments in your life where you maybe questioned your gender identity. And I just feel like you could be another voice to experimenting and finding what was right for you and what was wrong for you. So I'll let Marissa do a little intro. So if you want to like tell people your spiel a little bit and we can kind of have a conversation about it.
Sure, absolutely. So hi, my name is Marissa, and in talking about this, I think I have to say that I never even questioned like whether I might be transgender until the last year, and I've arrived at the conclusion that I'm not. But I'll tell you about that journey. I still am and was dating someone at the time who had been with a guy for a few months before me, like hooking up with a guy, and I think that caused a lot of insecurities in me to make me lead toward that path of questioning, because I felt kind of in competition with that. Or maybe that's just like the point in my life that I was at where I would have questioned anyway, like I don't know, because that's where I was.
But that was like your trigger?
I think that was a huge trigger for me and like a huge insecurity, and it had a lot to do with that relationship too. But like, regardless, okay, so I started to question. I don't think that you can question if you're transgender without questioning like what we've learned to be masculinity and femininity within our society. Like you can't really question it without taking on that too. So for myself, I would think certain things about my body, like, okay, wow, like I really like when I'm with a woman physically, I really like feeling myself, like feeling the masculine parts of me, feeling like if I have been working hard at the gym, like feeling the muscular parts of my body. If somebody's like kind of touching my chest area and I'm thinking like boobs, like I don't really feel good about that. Does that make me trans, or does that just make me like a woman that doesn't really want to draw emphasis to like those parts of my body? Or has society conditioned me to make this meaning from those parts of my body? So it's like this whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Because like for me, you know, being trans, like when I was female body, I didn't really mind my breasts being touched or my chest or whatever. Like, I don't want to trigger anyone with that word, but like with my chest, like I didn't mind someone touching it. But then once I started to realize that, like all of a sudden it slowly shifted, and like within this 1 year of my life, I didn't like it anymore, and I felt really disconnected. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting to hear that like you too at certain times or whatever like have experienced that. Because mine was to the point where I was like, get these things off of me. Like, let's get them off. Like, I'm saving money. We're doing something to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And you had more of like a fluid, like...
Well, yeah. I also feel a little bit blessed because my body, like I have very small boobs, and I don't have a very curvy body. I think like if I did, I'd have even much more of a problem. I'm just about at the point where I can call myself androgynous and feel really good about that, and feel like I can embrace my masculinity in moments and embrace some of my femininity in ways I feel comfortable in moments. But I've evolved through that process to say like I'm okay saying I'm a female, like using the she pronouns and such. And I just want to be part of the movement that like changes what it means to be a woman, to make the, we all, I mean, well, not all of us, but I cringe when I hear like woman applied to me, as many women do, even women who don't have gender identity issues, and that's like a sociological issue. I want to be part of the movement that makes women more inclusive, to include people like me, like people who are gonna dress in men's clothing and like you know, other women like do things like that, you know?
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, like, I think even people question if even transitioning period is a society-based thing. Like, are you just converting to what society tells you to be because you're a woman, a woman body who likes women and dresses in all of the boys section of the whatever, you know what I mean? And like you don't use your, you know, really feminine name, like, you know, I don't know, some stereotypical feminine name versus, and you use like E instead of like Elizabeth. You just go by E. You know what I mean? Like, so is that just society telling you that you should transition, or is it not? You know what I mean?
Right, and that's okay. That my sister actually, who's a therapist for the LGBTQ+, she helped me like make sense of that. She says like for some people, sometimes just being gay in the world and being presenting that way is too much for some people. They just want to like fit in more. Some people, like, they just, because these things have been so ingrained, they know they're going to feel more comfortable transitioning, and that's okay. We can't undo it all. That's the thing, like, we can't undo all the ways in which we've been socially conditioned. There are people that are like very self-aware. I know you're one of those people. I'm one of those people who can deconstruct a lot of it and work towards that, but we can't spend 24/7 doing that, and even if we did, we wouldn't get rid of all of it. So we have to to some extent, you have to do what just does feel good to you, and just let yourself do that and not overanalyze it.
Exactly. And like, I feel like for me, transitioning was something that when I discovered it, like, it really clicked, like in this really phenomenal way that made me, I feel like, really open up as an individual and become more of who you guys see today. And it was a really slow process, but I think it did change, like it did come to that, like I did change in like a really good way. And I didn't ever like think of like, well, maybe I shouldn't, like it just wasn't something that I thought of. Yeah, it just wasn't something I thought. Just like how when I discovered that I liked other, you know, women, like when I was young, you know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily something I thought of. It just felt like, it was like, yeah, that girl's really cute. Oh yeah, I really have a crush on this girl. Or like, you know, it wasn't this like whole thought up thing. It's just like, no, that makes sense to me. I know that the world's telling me something totally different, but this makes a lot of sense, you know? And like, even me, like I feel like what you were saying, like with your sister and that analogy of like, some people just don't want to be that. Like some people are not passionate about like being out and open in the LGBT world. Yeah, they just like want to live their life and like have their families, and that's it. And you know, and not to say that's it, like that's it, but you know, and that's all. Like that's what makes them feel like they thrive, you know?
Or for some people, being trans is even more something that the world is going to judge, and they embrace that and want to push the limits even more by being trans.
Yeah,
not everyone
exactly.
who is trans even wants to just blend in. But yeah, knowing you before you transitioned, it is so interesting. You've become like so much more, it seems, yourself, and so much more like just vibrant. And I think that everybody has their own evolution as people. It's not all about sexual identity and who we're attracted to and, like, and all that stuff.
And all that stuff.
Yeah. Like for me, I think part of becoming more myself was confronting like that trans thing, and then getting over my feeling like I need to be in competition with men. And that was, so I feel even more myself now that I've like confronted that.
Do you feel more comfortable? Like when you say more myself, like more myself in my body as well as like in my being?
Yeah, I decided to embrace the parts of myself that felt uncomfortable with being a woman, and just find my own peace with it and my own like comfort within that.
So you feel like you can find a peace there?
Now I do, and I don't think everyone can. But
I was just gonna say that.
I have just enough like ability to embrace the feminine parts of myself in addition to the masculine parts of myself that I can feel like okay in my skin. But I need to dress how I dress, which is masculine, and I need to like do certain things to make me feel
embrace that part.
Yeah.
See, so there's no one way. There's no checklist of things like, oh, I like to wear this and I do this, and you know, there's no like list of shit that says, you know, and you hit the submit button, it's like, you're trans, did you know? You know what I mean? Like, enter your birth date and your favorite number and the city you grew up, you know, like it doesn't equal that. So I thought it was really cool to bring Marissa on to show two different ways, right? Like I found it, discovered it, and was like, this is it, you know what I mean? And Marissa, on the other hand, not to put words in your mouth, but what you just explained was like, you discovered it, you looked around a bit, you looked under the hood, you checked the oil, you did this, you did that, and then you're like, I'm good. Like I think I actually can find solace in who I am and like peace within myself and be a new version of what women are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another branch on that tree of femininity. You know what I mean? And womanhood in general. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and I so appreciate you having me on your channel.
Yeah, of course. Check Marissa out. She's got a YouTube channel as well.
It's Marissa Larocca. Just put in my name. It's Marissa, and then Larocca. Maybe we'll put the link.
Yeah, below. I'll put it below. And then she has a book coming out that you should go pre-order and check it out. Very excited for this. Been working on it a long time. Very excited. Is it on Amazon?
It's available for pre-sale now, but it won't be out until February 1st. It's called Starving in Search of Me, and it's my own journey through some an eating disorder in college, and also some sexuality and gender identity stuff. Yeah, so check it out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Really love you guys. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Go check out Marissa. Also, if you have been stay tuned for this whole video, I think you'll really like my channel. You should hit the subscribe button. And BTW, I'm throwing this in there. You should too. Apparently now, with all the monetization junk, it's really good if you guys hit the notifications, which I think is like somewhere right next to the subscribe button. All it does is send you a little bling saying that I made a video, and then when you have a time to check it out, go do it. And otherwise, you have my permission to share this video with anyone who you think it will benefit, and I'll catch you in the next video, guys. So I do this thing where I'm like, peace. So like, right? Oh yeah. Yeah, 1, 2, peace.